Hello, I'm Ron, co-founder of Spark Beyond. And when we started Spark Beyond in 2013, we recognized that we human researchers and problem solvers are inherently limited in the skills and capabilities we have to solve complex cross-disciplinary problems. We then embarked on a journey to build a machine that helps humans come up with new ideas and inventions by overcoming our cognitive bottlenecks, constraints, such as speed of thought and bias, while we connect the dots, we, the machine, connect the dots across multiple domains of knowledge and expertise. We call this machine the ideation machine. Slide. It is built of two engines, one that creates new ideas from data, that's the hypothesis engine, and an engine that mines the entire web, more than 400 billion pages, patents, research papers, and even news, and connects the dots to provide answers to complex research questions. This is the knowledge engine. Next. We see an opportunity for investors to actually revert the direction of venture-backed innovation. We would like to see them investing in AI-powered search to find breakthrough opportunities and then proactively recruit entrepreneurs to realize these opportunities. In the rest of the session, Shay will describe our first steps to make this a reality for climate action.
Thank you, Ron. Very nice to meet everyone. My name is Dr. Shay Hershkovich. I'm the VP of Climate Action at Spark Beyond. What I would like to very quickly show now is a project led by the company called Project World Stage. Basically, we wanted to explore areas for potential collaboration between nations around the Biden Climate Summit back in April and ahead of COP26 last month. As you all know, the common view sees global politics as a zero-sum game, but our approach was slightly more constructive, and we wanted to identify seemingly non-trivial areas for global collaboration. But given the complexity of the challenge, the number of players, their interest, the magnitude of data on which such an analysis needs to rely on, and of course, the need to overlay multiple layers of analysis, this was a great use case for AI in general, and specifically for Spark Beyond's research studio or a research platform. And after collecting and crunching the data, we created a suite of assets that basically allow such exploration. And those of you who are interested in experimenting with the tool that we have developed, feel free to reach out to me after this talk. So what is that we did? We worked on 4 different axes of exploration. First, we analyzed the polluting countries, but not just as a snapshot, but we also examined the momentum of polluting activity, and we created clusters of countries. You can see that here on the left-hand side. So for example, major polluters, but the trend shows that they are declining in their polluting activity. We then examined 45 technologies to tackle climate risks, from prediction to coping with risk and recovery. We try to analyze which country or countries are leaders in which technological field. The third axis of exploration was we basically analyzed and identified which country suffers from which type of climate risk, covering a total of 27 specific risks, such as rising sea level, air pollution, or droughts. And then we also analyzed which leader is committed to which climate issue by analyzing media mentions in an attempt to understand their commitment to taking climate action. And we created this sophisticated knowledge graph, social network graph, to also allow understanding who's talking to whom and who mentions whom. And finally, we overlaid these 4 layers and started exploring where these 4 axes coincide. Unfortunately, we don't have time to go deeper, but here's an example that basically shows one area of such exploration. So for example, we found an interesting area for collaboration around energy storage. And you can see here as an example that Germany, Australia, and Canada lead technological development alongside with other players that suffer from relevant issues or contribute to the problem, to the global problem unsustainable use of energy. So basically countries that could benefit from such innovation. Here you can see an example of areas that we have identified as interesting areas. But as I mentioned before, it's basically a tool for people to explore. We presented this study to several stakeholders, and this is basically a great segue to present what happens next after this initial exploration. So over to you, Elise.
Thank you so much. My name is Elise Zoli. I'm here as the founder of the Alliance for a Climate Resilient Earth at the Stimson Center, which is a leading nonpartisan think tank. And we are working to execute on Spark Beyond's ideation technology, and we're doing it in a unique way. So Shay, do you mind going to the next slide? So I'm here to talk about RACE. What is RACE? It's a strategic alliance between Spark Beyond, the University of Cambridge, and the Stimson Center. What do? Our mission is to better accelerate, at scale, transformational climate solutions. How do we do that? We better deploy players on the chessboard, and I want to talk in detail about what that means. First, we rank climate solutions through AI. This allows us to do it in an unbiased manner and allows us to be able to then ensure that we're looking at the right things in the right way with the right focus. Second, we engage climate-committed global corporations to select, fund, and lead one transformational solution. So we have a clear, identified sponsor and an expert at crossing global boundaries. Third, we host at Cambridge University a year-long session. It's an intensive technological development session, and we invite the world's best thinkers to that session. That's done through AI facilitation as well. And our goal is to overcome and eliminate bias and to make sure that we drive the right solutions as quickly as possible. Fourth, during that year, we engage with governments to find the future home for scaling this technology. Think of this as executive-led initiatives, so manufacturing, purchasing, trade-based elements. We then, at the end, hand over the technology, the roadmap, and the governmental commitments to the corporation that has sponsored the initiative. That corporation is required to do a number of things. I'm going to only talk about 3 of them, but they're important to us. First, they have to share the technology with the developing world at no cost. Second, they have to share on a streamlined open basis with their competitors because we're driving solutions, not merely profit. And third, within developed countries, they have to share on an indexed basis that rewards action in addressing climate and sustainability solutions. So we reward the best players in what we call the race to the top. Do you mind the next slide, please? I know that this is more than you all can take in the time that we have, but I welcome your outreach, and as does Shay, to talk about how we're doing this, why we think that by moving the chess players on the board to optimize the delivery of solutions, that we will be able to engage in a global effort to change the future. Thank you.